We're live. Live,
Great.
Jules.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Do you want to do the introduction today?
Yes, so nice to meet you. My name is Jules, and this is Lee, and we are the camp chiefs and co-founders of Camp Kindling.
Yeah. And this is a very exciting live Q&A on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube today. And it's a particularly exciting one because tomorrow is when enrollment opens. So, Jules, do you want to give a quick introduction for what enrollment is, just in case anybody doesn't know by now, which would be a bit of a disaster?
Yes, so enrollment is our way at Camp Kindling of everybody that has bought a ticket and that is coming to Camp Kindling to enroll on the activities and the sort of enroll in the entertainment, but basically plan their weekends for Camp Kindling. And it is done on our enrolment system. And so the aim of today is, or this evening, is to have a chat with some of you, see if there's anything that you're you want any answers to, or if you want anything, if you want to discuss anything or tell us something you're excited about, and hopefully we can answer some of your questions.
Yeah, so enrollment opens at 7 p.m. tomorrow, and it all happens on our website. So hopefully you've had plenty of emails with all of our tips and tricks articles, our how-to video guide, our how-to written guide, explaining what the process is and how to go about it. But if you've got any burning questions that those materials haven't managed to answer for you, then please just drop them into the chat here, and we will answer them for you as we go.
Great. And also we should mention as well, for anybody that sort of wants like an overarching view of how enrolment works, Lee has done an amazing video on enrolment that I'm pretty sure all of you will have seen by now, but it's just really clear. It talks you through it. There's screenshots from enrolment. So the things that we're going to be covering now, obviously we're going to be answering some questions and doing some getting you excited, but in terms of actually working out how it works, for a how-to guide, you can see that video.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing is to say that the enrollment process is completely unique for Camp Kindling. No other events work like this. So it can seem a little bit overwhelming or a little bit daunting at times, but the payoff for going to all the effort of enrolling into our activities in advance is that when you arrive at camp, you get to have the most incredible weekend because everything's planned. You can just relax into it. You don't have to worry about there being queues for activities because you've pre-booked your spaces and your activities, so you know there's going to be space. So you can just relax into having an incredible time with your family and not having to worry about what you're going to do next. So, Jules, do you want to hit us with some, I can see some questions coming in. Do you want to hit us with some of those?
Yes, absolutely. We have so many questions, so let's get started. So the first question comes from Jane. She said, what happens if we run out of credits?
Oh, if you run out of credits, then you have a couple of options. You can either upgrade your ticket, so from elementary to standard or from standard to dynamo, and that tends to be cheaper way if you're planning to use a lot over your credit allocation. It can be cheaper to upgrade than to buy individual extra credits, or you can buy extra credits in bundles of 5, and they're £9, so you can just add those on as and when you need. Yeah, very easy.
But it is quite important to say as well that mostly people get to do an entire weekend with the credits that they've already got. So it's not so super usual to need to do that.
Yeah, the standard bundle really is like a bit of that should be the ideal amount for most families.
Do parents need to enroll with children for all activities?
Not for every activity, but for about 95% of them. If you are bringing infants and juniors pretty much have to be accompanied on all activities unless it's marked as a kids only session. And the kids only session is kind of like some free childcare over the weekend. So that's a little something to help you out. but you'll have to enroll with them. Youths can enroll in sessions without an accompanying adult.
Yes. Okay, great. Well, that's kind of answered Siv's question then, because they said for infant activities, do accompanying adults use their credits when accompanying?
Yes, yeah, you do use your credits when you're accompanying, and we use the word accompanying, but you will be doing the activities with your kids. So the whole idea of Camp Kindling is that you're doing activities together and you're getting that bonding experience.
Yes. Brilliant. Okay. Charlotte says, we're going with a toddler and interested to book one of the activities, which includes childcare, which is what you were just mentioning. But if they decide they don't want to be left alone with strangers, can we cancel on the day and use credits elsewhere?
Yes, there are rules about how late you can cancel. So if you cancel too late, you will lose your credits. But you can make changes basically between enrollment, and I can't remember the exact time. If you go to our help center, it will say it's like 24 hours before, or maybe even a few hours before. So you can make changes to your enrollment basically from now until the event begins, without losing any credits or anything like that. We do there is a cutoff, but it's as late as we could make it.
Great. And whilst we're on it, Emma Louise 86 says the best advice you gave last year was try something different and don't stress if you don't get the ones you wanted.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. Camp Kindling is all about kind of pushing your boundaries and your kids' boundaries together. It's amazing kind of to share those experiences. So yeah, find some things that you wouldn't normally do, and push yourself out there, and find some things that your kids normally wouldn't do and push themselves out there. So for some, that might be like doing something scary, like the zip wire, or if you're used to doing things like zip wire, it might be doing something completely different, like mindfulness, or more creative things. So use the opportunity with the 100 plus activities that are available to you, to mix things up and do lots of different stuff that you wouldn't normally get involved in. That's where the real magic happens.
And actually, if we've got a little bit of time at the end of this live, Lee and I are going to talk you through some of our hidden gems of the enrolment. We've got a few activities that we kind of got like insider knowledge that are going to be absolutely amazing, but may not instantly stand out as being the ones that you would choose. So we'll talk you through those in a bit. Also, if I haven't got to your question yet, I'm sort of trying to order them slightly so they make a bit more sense for anyone that's new to this. So I will come back to people that put their questions at the beginning. Cat A Lolly 91 says, does drop-in actually mean just turn up, or do you still book these sessions in advance?
So drop-in means, so there's two types of activities. There's enroll credit activities, and there's drop-in activities. So enroll sessions, you use your credits to reserve a space on those, and you're going to be one of a small group participating in that activity. You've got your guaranteed space, so you're not going to have to queue at all. Then drop-in activities, you don't have to reserve a space. You can literally just drop in whenever you fancy, but if it's busy, there might be a queue. And really, so the way to work it is sort out your credited activities first. So get those in as your kind of main activities that you're going to do, and then use the drop-in activities that are in the similar area, say to where you are in the morning, to fill all the little gaps as and when you've got time. That sort of gives you the nice sort of balance of having like enough scheduled stuff and enough spontaneous stuff.
And I met a family last year that went on airdrop 6 times. They had to like hype themselves up to go on the first level, and then they came back, and then eventually they got onto the second level. And yeah, so you might find something that you absolutely love, and then you want to come back and back again. So
yeah, you can, there's people that just spend all weekend at the water slide because the kids just love that so much. So drop in, you just as much as you want.
Yeah, brilliant. Susie says, I haven't watched the video. I think she means the one that you did, Lee. I'm coming with 2 children. Do I book one at a time? Do you want to just give us like a slightly generalized overview of enrollment if you've got tickets for other people?
So definitely watch the video, and make sure that you've signed into your account, following the steps in the video. Make sure you've signed into your account so you can kind of see the steps, and you can do all the preparation steps. So there's some things you can do now ahead of 7 p.m. tomorrow, which is make sure you've set up your profile, make sure you've added all of your attendees to your group. So that would be like your kids, partner, friends, if you've booked tickets for them, and that you've allocated everyone their tickets and upgrades and extra credits. And that you've had a look through all of the different activity sessions and you've chosen some favorites, and with like your first choices and your backup choices, because if you've been through this, you'll know just how many activity sessions there are over the weekend. There's an awful lot there, so you want to be prepared by sort of favoriting a few things. So make sure you go and do that now. It is probably way easier to take 5 minutes to watch me doing that video where I can explain what it might be like here. So if you want to find that, just go to campkindling.co.uk/help. Just in the search bar there, just put enroll, and it will find the enrollment how-to video and how-to written guide for you.
Great. Michael says, I'm coming alone with 3 of my kids. 2 of them are youths, 11 and 8, and also an infant, 5. I'm aware I need to book onto the same activities as all 3. However, I'm conscious I'm going to run out of credits keeping up with their activities. Will I need to purchase extra credits for myself so that I can ensure I enroll with them on all their activities?
Yeah, so Michael, your 2 youths, they can actually enroll in activities without you. So there's lots of activities that they can do without you actually being with them. The infant will have to be accompanied by you when doing activities, unless they're on a kids only activity. So you will have to purchase extra credits if you're wanting to do everything with all the kids, and that takes you over your what's included in your ticket limit. But it very much depends on what you end up doing together and what you end up doing separately. So what I would recommend with your particular, because you've got 2 youths and 1 infant, I recommend definitely finding some of the infant kids only sessions. Using some of the infant credits that are included to put your infant in there, so you've got a bit of free childcare, so you can spend some one-on-one time with your 2 youths doing kind of an activity that's special with them. Also sign your youths up to the kids to the thing. Sorry, I've just realized that you've said 2 youths, but actually you mean 2 juniors. 11 and 8 would be junior, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, it would be. You're right.
I think we need to check to make sure that you've got the right tickets. So because 11 and 8, I've just seen your comment come up, would be juniors. So if you maybe just drop us a DM on Facebook, which is where I can see you are, the team will be able to look into that tomorrow and help you a bit more. But yeah, so 11 and 8 would count as juniors, not as youths.
But for anyone that does have youths, that is still a very good option. And then somebody else has asked that if they do buy additional credits, which is obviously tagging on to the last comment, are they allocated to individuals before enrolling?
Yes, you need to. Yeah, if you buy extra credits, you'll need to allocate those to the people in your group. Important step.
Yes, which is in the video. Fifi M29 says, is there an area we can use for kids celebrating their birthdays at camp?
We don't have a set area. I mean, there's no shortage of space to create something fun, in the campsites. I think I've seen people do little birthday gatherings in the campsite cooking area, or around the base camp campfire, or what's it called, the woodshed bar, or the boutique lounge tend to be quite good places because they're not always super busy. But yeah, there's lots of little pockets of space that you could create something for a little birthday celebration.
Definitely, yeah, I've seen a few people do that. Yeah, pretty cool. Carlin Ann says, this is our first time at Camp Kindling. We're very excited, by the way. We have favorited our activities. Tomorrow, yes, well done. Actually, you could explain that in step 2. But tomorrow, when we enroll, do I have to reselect the activities again, or is there an easier way?
So favoriting an activity is not enrolling in it. You need to make sure that you sign in tomorrow when it opens at 7, and you click enroll on those sessions for you and your family. Yeah, the favoriting way is just basically just to make it easy for you to create a little short list of things you might like to do, but you don't have a space until you actually enroll tomorrow.
Chloe V. Ray says, do the times for the lake activities include transfer time for planning purposes?
Yes, they do. Yeah. So the lake pickup point is marked on the map. So all you have to do is make sure you're there at the start of the activity time, and then you'll be back there by the end of the activity time.
David Hickey says, if I have a few credits spare, can I give them to my child?
No, there's no way to transfer credits between attendees, between children and adults. They are for the person that the ticket is named to.
Sid Army says, is it possible to purchase additional credits once the weekend starts, or is there a cutoff?
You can once the weekend starts. Generally, by that point, you kind of you won't want to be changing too much about your enrollment. You can do, but like it's better, I think, to like have your enrollment plan and then just throw yourself into the event instead of fully be there, present, and enjoying it instead of always tweaking and trying to make changes to your schedule. But you can.
And we have our information team as well, if you do need to talk to people on site when you get there. Or even if some people just change them on their own phones, don't they, on enrollment, if you've got good internet. Emma J. Cray says, having been before, will things like raft building be slightly different?
No. So raft building is kind of a staple. So there's lots of activities that are staples. They're booked out every year, so we bring them back. So things like raft building, quad biking. If you've done those one time already, I'd probably vote. And if you like that experience and you want to do it again, go for it. But it will be very similar to previous years. So if you want something different, explore some different activity ideas.
By the way, Michael replied and said they are juniors. So
okay.
May have just been a typo. Stephen Garrett says, how strict are the age limits between infants and juniors for activities?
If you've got an infant ticket, you won't be able to enroll that infant into a session that is not suitable for infants during enrollment. That is a hard. It will not. The technology will not allow you to do that.
All right, let's do a little tiny segue. My Cheeky Pint says, what would you say are some of the most underrated activities available? And since we have a couple of these, I think we can talk about them. These aren't necessarily underrated, but some of these are like new for this year. These are coming straight from our programming manager. She has recommended these. So
okay.
My favorite one that I'm most excited is 200-meter zip line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be popular, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not underrated. But she has pointed out that it's 2 whole football fields long, which is
it's the biggest. I found out the other day is the biggest like mobile zip wire in the UK. It's like the biggest one we could possibly get.
Amazing.
And
what can people expect from the view on the zip line?
Where it's being put up as well is like right on top of the hill. It's like one of the highest points in the North Downs. So you should be able to see like across South London all the way to Canary Wharf, and you should be able to see across like swathes of Kent as well. So it's going to be cool view from the top of that.
Swathes of Kent. So another one that's, I guess, lesser known that Laura, our program manager, suggested, African Harmonies. She said that was amazing and loads of people were crying and laughing and all sorts of things.
I walked past that last year, and the sound coming from it was just like insanely beautiful from like completely amateur, singers, and it sounded so good. So definitely up for that. Rachel just said, if my 6-year-old chicken's out on the zip line, do you lose your credits? Yes, you will. Sorry.
Well, she won't lose her. She can go without a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
The 6-year-old.
The 6-year-old.
Yeah. So special XOX, it's just not quite related, but she said, can I call up to make my last payment?
No, we don't have a phone line, but if you just use the web chat on our web chat on our campkindling.co.uk/help. There's a little web chat there. You can chat to the team. They won't be on. There won't be any humans. There will be our AI bot, but the human team will start at, I think, 9 or 10 a.m. tomorrow. So if they can do that for you.
D33 Ashby says, I have set up my group, but it won't allow me to allocate tickets. Any idea what that could be about?
No idea, but that's definitely something you need to DM us about, or send an email to office@campkindling.co.uk, and the team will get straight onto that tomorrow for you.
Bit confused at this comment from Anna. She said, sorry if I missed it. When do pre-booked activities become available to book? Do you think she means when you enroll?
Enrolment open, which is 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Great. And Fifi says about the birthday comment, she says, thank you, bringing cake, you're welcome to join.
Ooh, yeah, love that.
Gemma says, I'm coming alone with 3 children, but can I attend a ratio of 1 to 2 activity if my friend is attending with only 1 child, but we didn't book as a group? So she's got a friend. So they want to go to an activity with a ratio of 1 adult to 2 children. Her friend is coming, 1 adult with 1 child, and she's coming 1 adult with 2 children. Can her friend, even if they don't enroll together, can her friend sort of be the allocated adult? I don't think the enrollment system will let that work, will they?
No, unless it's all in one account. The enrollment system wouldn't know that like your friend was going to be there. So unless you're like all as one group in like your web account, I think it will prevent you from enrolling in that session.
So if she did want to do that, her friend could transfer.
Yeah, you could transfer. Your friend could transfer you their tickets, or vice versa, and what you could enroll as one big group, like through one account, you could manage all your enrollments. We do plan to add like sort of like shared enrollment like abilities in the future, but it's not something we can kind of technically support this year.
Angela says, how do I purchase credits for my carer, and how do I purchase 20 more credits for each family member?
So if you go to Angela, if you go to campkindling.co.uk// there's a whole new things. Hopefully you've got an email from us with buy extras and upgrades. That would be the best way to do that. If not, if you haven't got an email, Angela, for us with a link to like buy extras and upgrades, just drop us an email or a message, and somebody will send you that link so that you can do that.
By the way, for anyone wondering what just happened there, that wasn't Lee's brain exploding. That was, I assume, a motorbike or something.
Oh yeah, the window's open here. So yeah,
you pulled a grimacing face at the same time, and your brain was just too much overload. Michael says, my 11-year-old turns 12 on 7th of September and was a bit upset. He is a junior. Are the age limit between junior and youth strict, or would it be possible to switch his ticket to a youth? Sorry, but I'm asking for him. Yes, they are strict.
Yes, Michael, we have to say yes. You don't have to ask us.
Rachel says, will staff look after him for me? This should talk about earlier. You can do it. You agree?
No, absolutely not. I will be very, very busy. Yeah, unfortunately, no. So it's worth us being very clear here that we don't have any start other than unless you book one of the childcare sessions, like a nanny session, or you book your kid into one of the kids only sessions. It's really important that like everybody understands, like us, like the staff, the activity leaders are not allowed to like look after kids on anyone's behalf. You have to absolutely look after them kind of like at all times, with the exception of youths who are allowed to move around the festival and do their own activities between like daylight hours.
Nice. Jane says, we are in general camping. Is there a lot of room or are we going to all be squished together?
I think the answer to this depends on what you're used to. So it's a festival style campsite. So if you're used to going to festivals, you'll probably think it's pretty like roomy, pretty like our like facilities are really great compared to like most other festivals. If you're used to going like camping where you have like a marked out pitch, or like, you know, wild camping where you've got like a whole field in Wales behind a farmer's house to yourselves, then it's going to be quite different, and it will feel quite squished. But yeah, it's like festival style camping is the best like description I can give. Festival style camping with great facilities.
Yeah, although I would say, having been to lots of festivals before, it's one of the best festival camping that I've encountered. And I think for a start, it's not massive. It's not one of those festival campsites where you're walking for ages to get to your tent. And yeah, like Lee said, the facilities are really nice. We've got nice warm showers and nice toilets and baby facilities. So yes.
Yeah.
Mama Moore says, when are the food vendors going to be announced and the live acts that are currently on the schedule TBA?
Live acts that are marked TBA, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when they're kind of coming out, but food traders will be about 2 weeks before the event. So we'll send out, we collate all the menus and things because parents always find that quite useful. So we'll collate all the menus and so you can kind of see what's going to be available a couple of weeks before.
Special K XOX says, I've got 3 tickets, 1 adult and 2 kids. Is it too late to add another adult?
Yeah, we're sold out now. Yeah, we're sold out. But if you drop us a DM, sometimes, yeah, the customer service team might be able to like match you up with someone who doesn't need a ticket, who has a spare ticket. So it's worth a try.
Paige says, hello, would there be any power at all?
The only place that we can provide power is if you have if you book a live-in vehicle pitch with power, or you book into a suite bell tent or a suite emperor tent in boutique camping. They're the only places that we can provide power.
Great. What time does the campsite open on the Friday, and does the car park open earlier?
The campsite opens at midday and the car park opens from 11.
What facilities are in the cooking area?
There are kettles, microwaves, sinks with running hot and cold water, and tables.
And tables with a concrete on so that we're not...
Oh, yeah. And yeah, like sort of concrete places to use gas stoves. But we don't provide any gas stoves. You have to bring it home.
Great. Charlotte says, if my tent is too big, will I be refused entry?
No, you won't. We don't allow any like communal tents, so like a central like gazebo or marquee or anything like that. But if you're just bringing like your normal camping tent for you and your family, that's fine. Oh, also Charlotte says they have a spare adult ticket. So whoever it was earlier was looking for a ticket, maybe find Charlotte and drop Charlotte a DM.
Great. Yes. For the drop-in activities, I assume we just turn up at the time slot, and do we need any credits? We have talked about drop-in, but yes, no, you just turn up at the time slots. You don't need any credits.
Yeah, no, that's right. I've got some here from Instagram, Jules.
Yeah.
Fifi M29 says, is there an area we can use for kids? Oh, you did that one. Sorry.
All right, you're quite. But Fifi did say loads more room compared to Download and Glastonbury, and the toilets and showers are so much better. If anyone wants some more campsite intel.
Great.
Falling from Grace says, I'm camping all weekend but need to leave in the morning on Saturday and Sunday for work. Is this possible and easy to drive in and out?
Firstly, epic effort, massive like props for that. That's incredible. And yes, it is possible and easy. I would say just speak to the parking stewards when you arrive so that they know you've got to do this, and they can probably put you on like the end of a row to make it a bit easier. That's, yeah.
What a brilliant parent you are, Falling from Grace. That is really taking your kids to Camp Kindling even though you need to work. Mama Moore says, hope the cotton candy girl is there again. Oh yeah, she was amazing.
Oh, that was such like such an incredible artwork. For people that haven't seen this, there was a cotton candy floss, making the craziest like artwork, and the queue was like just kids didn't want to go to activities; they just wanted to queue for hours to get this like candy floss animals. It was quite incredible.
I'm going to answer a couple as well here. We have a large group. Is there any way to see activities and good availability so we can order it at once? So I don't know if you've mentioned it yet, Lee, but there's a really good filtering system on Enrolment, which is a good way of seeing availability and having a look at, just filtering it by location. And as Lee's mentioned in his video, it's worth also having a quick look at the map because some things are near each other.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely want to like take some time today or tomorrow to look at the map and look at which activities in which area, and you want to try and spend like a morning in the like playing fields and Adventure Valley area, and then like an afternoon in the Intrepid Forests and Centre Camp area, and try and get your activities sort of in similar areas. So because it's quite far, particularly with like kids with little legs. If you were to like book into something in base camp at one end and then Adventure Valley and then back at base camp, you're going to be super tired by the end of the weekend. So you want to take some time ahead of enrollment opening to make a little plan, think about which area you're going to be in. There are plenty of activity spaces across the weekend for everybody, plus like we always have an extra 10% like available. So even if every activity space got used by everybody, then we've got loads spare. So there'll never be no activities. Some sessions do get booked up very quickly, and some activities do get booked up very quickly. So things like quad bikes, things like raft building, they're always very popular. They fill up quickly. If you wanted one of those and you don't get one, don't like stress about that, and don't let that like throw off all your plans. Still, keep like focusing on like booking like a great morning in one area and a great afternoon in another area, because that's how you can kind of have the most fun. So yeah, spend some time with that map and sort of deciding where you're going to be, then creating some favorites in that area ahead of tomorrow.
And on that, something that people say to me a lot is that they think at Enrolment that they need to completely pack their weekends to sort of get their money's worth and actually feel like there's so much to do and you're so entertained that you don't have to worry about like jamming your schedule packed full. And a lot of people afterwards sort of go like, I wish I'd had a little bit more of a break to just like chill, and because it's such a beautiful place to be, isn't it, Lee? Just to chill, sit there and take in the nature.
Yeah, and like you don't get carried away kind of thinking, you need to spend loads of money on extra credits. Kids will just be so happy with like water slide and drop-in activities and things like that. So Yeah.
I mean, I spent a whole morning in the forest with a load of kids this morning that just were happy climbing over logs. So I think that you know, it is beautiful. There's different terrains, there's different sceneries. You can even see from playing fields, you can see the tiny little London skyline as well. It's just such a lovely place to just sort of be still and take in nature. So yeah, don't worry about packing your schedule absolutely full.
Yeah.
And should we talk a bit about the evening? Because we've mentioned activities, and obviously enrolling on entertainment isn't necessary, but some people like to put it in their schedules. But should we just kind of touch on that a bit?
Yeah, so we put in all of the entertainment and all of the games and all the drop-in activities, even though you don't need to enroll in them at all. We just put them in there so that you can kind of like, it's easy to sort of think, to put them in schedule and think where you might want to be. After activities, there's kind of like an hour and a half of games, which is like the patrol games and the patrol quiz. You're definitely going to want to go to one of those each evening, because it's great, and the kids just absolutely love getting stuck into those. And then from the evenings, I personally like to sort of just drift around and see, between the auditorium, where it's more of a relaxed kind of listening to talks, much more chilled environment, to the discotheque where you've got all the live music, and into the clubhouse for some serious dancing. I like to just drift between all of that, but definitely kind of have a look through and add a few things to your schedule. The good thing about those is you can add like lots of things to your schedule. They're not going to clash. It's not going to prevent you from kind of going. You can just have all the things you're interested in ready to go.
Yeah, great. Lois Mayland says, would it be great to have the same toilets you get in camping in the centre camp too? Bit tricky with a toddler.
So we did do those before, and actually it didn't work, having those like trailer units. Something about the logistics of it wasn't really working. So we found that actually we can provide a much cleaner, much better toilet experience without those in that particular area.
Nice. Fifi says, can we have more badgers this year?
Yeah, I wonder.
Cool. A couple more hidden gem activities from our program manager. So this year we've got gel blasters, which looks absolutely brilliant. Already very, very excited about. Absolutely thrilling. We've got skateboarding back. It was in demand last year, and a few people will be pleased to know that we do have a rain backup plan for it in case it rains. And pottery wheels. This is a really big one that people ask for a lot. So not just making potteries with your hands. This is actually throwing pottery on a wheel, which I'm very excited about.
Do you not remember? We actually that the pottery wheel thing came from one of these lives. I think we were doing one of these lives maybe back in November last year or something, after last year's event. And a cute kind of kid came on and requested if we could do pottery wheels. And then so our wonderful program manager, Laura, has gone to great lengths to go and find pottery wheels that we can bring down. So we love, I'm guessing most people on here are adults. But when you're there with your kids, we love to get feedback from them, and we love to hear about what they like and what they want to do, so that we can put on more.
Well, we should also say you should come to Camp Council on the Sunday at camp, and you can give us all your ideas.
Yeah.
And also, I've got to mention, we actually tried out pottery wheels as a team, didn't we? We like to test out our activities as well. So as a little team, we went and tried some pottery wheels, which was really fun. Yeah, and that's actually not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, tricky.
And the other one that Laura said is a real hidden gem is slackline. Apparently people went nuts for slackline, really lovely, and it's like in those particularly beautiful tall trees.
Yeah, nice.
How are we doing for questions. Sorry, I just went off on one then. Have you seen any?
No, it's fine. We've got Special K says, can you bring bikes? Afraid you're not allowed to bring bikes. It would be potentially too damaging to the landscape if we let everybody bring bikes. I'm not sure if we've got any biking activities this year, but yeah, afraid you can't bring your own. If we ever do biking activities, we include all of the bikes and equipment that you need. Raymondo says, bit of a selfish question, but is there scope to moving it a few weeks earlier, as they'd love to bring their daughter, but the Scottish school holidays suck. You wouldn't believe, Raymondo 90, how frequently we get messages like this. So long term, we are looking at potentially doing like Camp Kindling and Camp Wildfire, which is the adult event that we run. Doing a kind of a version of it somewhere up near Scotland or the northwest of England, and that if we do that will align with the Scottish school holidays for sure.
Nice. Angela says, is there a quiet area in case of sensory overload?
Yeah, there's a whole area called the Retreat, which is basically like run by a great mental health charity, and they've got it's like a great quiet area to escape for adults or for kids. They've got kind of trained counselors there and lots of helpful stuff for any kind of sensory overload. So you're sorted there. There's also just loads of quiet little spots around the forest for you to kind of go and get away from it all for a bit. So you will not be stuck for chill out spaces. Tony Mugan 2016 says, are we sold out? Yes, Tony, we are sold out, I'm afraid. We will be opening registrations for 2026 in the next few days, so keep an eye out for that and get yourself a super early bird ticket, because you can save like hundreds of pounds by buying a super early bird ticket for next year. So do that.
Lucy says, I saw hot tubs last year. Are you doing it again this year? And if so, how can I book?
Yeah, hot tubs are there. So this is an area called the Sanctuary. It's an adults only area. There's wood-fired hot tubs, saunas, massage treatments, cold plunge pools, kind of pamper rooms. It's a nice space for parents to take some time out from the kids. So if you want to book that, you need to go to you'll be able to book that during enrolment. There is an extra charge to use it, but book yourself a spa session or massage treatment. It's a lovely chill out zone. There on that I was gonna say something, can't remember what it is now. Don't worry, carry on.
No worries. D33 Ashby said, we messed up last year and enrolled on activities really late. We didn't even use all our credits, but we still had an amazing weekend. We didn't miss out by any means. Ah,
great. Yeah, that's the spirit. Definitely. That's the camp spirit. And now you know this year to log on.
Yeah, now you know. Chloe V. Ray says, this is our 4th year, and echo what Lee is saying about being strategic on location. Less can also be more. Leave time to enjoy the forest and drop-ins. We tried to do too much the first year.
Yeah, it's such a we tell people every year, and it's everyone kind of always gets. I completely understand it. You're looking at like this screen with like hundreds of options, and you feel like you've just got to try and do more for like get as much value in. But yeah, value comes from like depth of experience, not just doing loads.
Becca Sora says, are all the food vendors in base camp, or actually NACE camp, central camp area?
Sorry, can you say that one again?
Sorry. There was a typo in it, that's why I said it funnily. Becca Sora says, are all the food vendors in base camp or centre camp? Are we frozen? I don't know if that's me or you.
One of us froze.
One of us froze.
Anyway, go again.
Are all of the food vendors in base camp and centre camp?
Base camp, centre camp, and boutique camping. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, actually, Ray was asking also about boutique camping. Is there any availability left?
There are some items left. Some things are sold out. So if you want to upgrade to either pre-pitch camping or boutique camping, we recommend doing that soon. It will be sold out in a couple of weeks.
Nice. Let's do a couple more questions. Let's have a look over there. Emma says, will the sunflower lanyard be recognised by staff for children with a disability like autism? They might find it difficult to queue or want to sit somewhere specific for an activity or be very vocal, etc.
So not necessarily the sunflower lanyard, because we have our own internal systems. So Emma, if you go to campkindling.co.uk/help and you search accessibility, you can apply for our own internal accessibility provisions. A lot of our activities are provided by external expert activity providers, so it's hard for me to say whether they would all recognize that lanyard.
Any updates to arriving on the Friday? We had a stressful half an hour to get the tent up before initiation started, even though we arrived at 12. Any tips how to get sorted quickly?
Yeah, we're improving the whole gates process this year, so the queues to get into the campsite should be much shorter this year than they were last year.
Nice. Also, your point about the sunflower lanyard may also apply to NB IDH, who have said their grandparents and they're bringing their 7-year-old autistic grandchild who struggles with queuing. Is there a virtual queuing or other accommodation? He has an access card, so they should DM you as well.
We don't offer any kind of virtual queuing or anything like that. So for food traders or drop-in activities, that we don't have any option but to queue for those things. But the enroll activities, so the credited activities are the whole idea of them is that you can pre-book into those. You've got your space and there won't be queuing for those. So I'd say if queuing is an issue for things like autism, then focus your schedule around the credited activities.
Nice. Grace Funden says, my daughter wants to know, are there any tree nets this year?
I don't think there are this year.
There aren't, no. But there is a replacement. I was speaking to Laura about it, and I can't remember what she said it was. I was looking through enrollment, thinking what it was.
Hammocks and things. I think hammocks.
Yes, that's it. Yes. Great. Right. Have you got any more questions your side? Alex says, are there any sessions on the Friday that involve credits?
No. So Friday from midday till about 4 or 5 p.m. is just getting set up, getting settled in the campsites. Then the first thing on Friday that you want to come to is the opening ceremony. And then it all kicks off from there. So make sure you're at that opening ceremony. There's maybe a couple of meetups happening, like a solo parents meetup and things like that. But there's no kind of activities on the Friday. The activities all kick off 8 a.m. on the Saturday morning.
Actually, that leads us nicely into, somebody was asking about the evening entertainment. Is the evening music for all ages?
Yes. Yeah. Everything is family friendly and is all ages. Generally, the earlier stuff in the evening is for younger kids, and then it gets more engaging for older kids into youths as it gets a bit later. But yeah, everything is completely family friendly because we're a families only event.
Becky,
Becky says, do you give out maps of the camp, please? It's their first time coming and they're panicking. Yes, we give out maps of the camp. So check out the online one, just so that you can enroll in your activities in the right areas and keep things close. But everybody will be given a map on the way in. And don't panic. You're going to have a great time. Read my ultimate first time guide. That's got loads of like helpful tips to kind of help you settle into it and have a great time. But yeah, you know, we've got hundreds of staff that are there to just make sure you have an incredible weekend with your family. So there's nothing to panic about.
And then hopefully, Becky, you also just heard Lee said that you can get in from 12
midday on the Friday.
On the Friday, yeah. Any more? Catherine says, really sorry if it's already been asked. Can you confirm if I have to use my own credits as an adult if infant or junior activities are booked for children?
Yes, you have to accompany them, which means you need to enroll in the activity with them, and you will be participating in that activity with them, and that will be great fun for you. All of our activities are designed for parents and kids to do together.
Yeah, and as a parent myself, I know that oftentimes so much of the things that you do with your kids are aimed at kids, and a lot of the time you find yourself just drinking coffee on the sidelines, but I guarantee you it will not be like that at Camp Kindling. You will have such a great time. It's going to be really, really fun. We're really excited for you, actually. And I think, unless you've got anything particularly extra-ly, I think we could sort of wrap it up by doing a few tips for tomorrow.
Yeah, go on, you give a few tips. I'm just going to find my article where I wrote my 5 top tips. So just,
that's a good idea. Well, my tip I like to tell people is to, obviously use the filters on enrolment. And like Lee was saying earlier, make sure you go in and you star your favourites, because then you won't spend ages faffing. I think just being really prepared and watching Lee's amazing video is obviously very, very important. And something that I think people do, which I think is quite good, is sometimes work backwards. So obviously everyone rushes in and goes in chronologically and books things that they want. But if you work from Sunday, then you'll be going the opposite way.
Yeah. It is a trick that people use. My ones would be, so definitely taking a look at the map and deciding, okay, we're going to spend the morning in this zone, the afternoon in this zone, and planning around which area you're going to be in, more so than planning which activities, because that's just going to be more relaxed and chilled for you. Trying new things is absolutely what it's all about. You trying new things, your kids trying new things. So really I guarantee that the thing that is your highlight will be something that is not expected. Everyone always thinks, oh yeah, quad biking will be the highlight, but actually it's not. It's something else that they find, and they find some real magic in, because they really bond over it. Utilize the wait lists. The people are changing their activities all the time. So if you want to do laser clays in a particular session and it's full that session, just join the wait list and things tick over, and something might well become available for you. But also just try not to stress. I think there could be people kind of, again, with that sort of sense of being like, oh, we need to make the most of this in enrollment. We have to try and get it perfect. There is no perfect. Whatever you end up planning and whatever you end up booking into, you're going to have an incredible time. Don't kind of, if you go in thinking, oh, I want exactly this schedule, it's going to be very difficult to do that. If you're just quite fluid and flexible and kind of book into lots of different things, you're going to find some real amazing stuff to do, and you're just going to have a great time.
Yeah, you really are. Very excited for you.
Yeah, we're very excited to host you as well. In just, I think, what is it, 6 weeks now, something like that? Where it's the whole
thing, isn't it? Hang on.
super busy putting all the final touches to this year's extravaganza for our 5th birthday. Should we wrap up there, Jules?
Yes, just really one quick question, because we haven't touched on it at all. I know, sorry, about patrol and getting involved with that quickly. Because obviously we've been talking about enrolment mainly, but for anyone asking what a patrol is, just really quickly, it's a really exciting, really fun, kind of silly, competitive, completely at your own. You don't have to get involved with it, but it's foxes, badgers, squirrels, and hawks. You can join one of those patrols, you can choose which one you want to join, and you can get involved as much or as little as you'd like. You can get dressed up. For the person that's asking, Lois Mainland, D Ashby, yes, we have the Wild Kind stores, and they will sell lots and lots of things on site that you can buy to wear, to adorn yourself with, or you can bring stuff and make your own costume, whatever you'd like to do. And it's just a brilliant, silly, bonkers part of Camp Kindling that I feel like you kind of have to be there to really know what it's like. But yes,
yeah, I've just made a note for us to send out like an email to everyone explaining the whole patrols thing. So we'll send you some more information on that. Also, if people are watching this back later after we are not live anymore, you can just leave a comment on it, and our wonderful social media manager Ali will get back to you with your answers. Cool. Awesome. So good luck tomorrow, everybody. Make sure you're prepped tonight or tomorrow. Make sure you're ready at 7 p.m. And we hope.
Oh, and one thing that we would love this year is if you would share your experience with us as you go. So like if you're getting the things you like and you see your kids and having a great time, film it, film their reactions. If you're doing it and you're like, if you're filling your schedule up and you're really excited, or like send us screenshots and things like that. So we'd love to like see a little bit behind the scenes of your experience with it as well. And then you can share it with us on socials.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
Lovely. All right. Good luck. See you tomorrow. Bye.